How's it going, everybody? It is your favorite apostates. I am McKay.
And I am Jordan.
And I said that kind of weird.
You always throw me off because sometimes you do my name is McKay and sometimes you do I'm McKay.
I thought I said it the same way every time.
No, you don't. You say it different every time.
Wow.
It confuses me.
This part, when I'm in editing, this part gets skipped over usually almost every time. Unless I know there's something that, or like a F-bomb that I need to edit out. Because that...
Not in the first 30 seconds.
Not in the first 30 seconds. We can't have that. So, anyway, a couple things we want to start off with before we do everything.
Before we get to our topic today... I will put a timestamp in the description box if you don't want to listen to us ramble.
But don't do that because you love us. First thing we wanted to bring up is a viewer of ours, a member of the, we're going to call it The Race Has Been Won, the No Garmy Army, made an out-of-context video of us, and it's hilarious. There's some...
which, by the way...
Oh, go ahead.
The person who came up with the No Garmy Army reached out to me on Instagram, and I chatted with them for a little bit. Her name is Isla, I-S-L-A. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right.
Isla?
I'm not for sure. I'm sorry. But they are the ones that came up with it, so give them all the snaps and credit because
all the snaps. That wasn't us. That is decided upon by all of you. So this out of context video, it's a riot. I'm going to include a link right here. It has some copyrighted material, so I don't want to risk it. But also, they should get all the credit that it deserves. So please go over there. If you love us, then you will listen to this and you will go and watch this video. It's only a minute long clips, but it's pretty funny. We are filming this a couple days before, and right now we are 20 subscribers away from 50K, which is amazing. I can't believe we've gained all these subscribers so quickly. But by the time you're viewing this, we've definitely hit 50K. I'm going to put snaps and clapping hands and everything. Thank you, everybody, for getting us this far. We are in talks about doing... thank you for all the suggestions, by the way. Talks about doing what we're going to do for a giveaway, and we think we want to go big with some cool... specific things for us.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We never make it on time when it comes. Every time we're like, oh, we're close to a giveaway.
We don't.
Let's get ahead of it, and then it just accelerates. So thank you.
It's always late, but we still do it.
Yeah. Thank you to each and every one of you. We love you. Obviously, it's pretty freaking awesome.
So we are filming this Friday, June 24th, and you are probably aware that there's a lot of commotion happening, particularly in the United States right now, over some laws and things being overturned. So obviously we wanted to state our unequivocal stance with people with uteruses that they should have the right to do what they want with their own bodies, and that should not be regulated by anybody but the person. So, and if you follow us on Instagram, we talk about this in great detail, and that's not the purpose of the video today. But your feelings are valid. It's a really shitty place to be a person with a uterus right now. And we sit with our feelings, we feel them, we process them, and we continue moving forward. Don't get so discouraged and feeling like you can't do anything. I get it. We feel the same way. It feels insurmountable at this point. Insurmountable.
All right, Michael Scott. Bring it in.
At this point. So we get it. We get the feeling, but don't let things like this disempower you from doing things. So there are things you can do. I'll put some resources and links and action items in the description of this video if you so choose, but that's where we're at.
We've been feeling pretty defeated today, the day that we are doing this. And it is important to remember that we are all together, and there's a lot of shit going on, and there is still hope, but it's important to also recognize that now is the time to take action, because things are going to be changing and things have already been set in motion. I remember when we were telling everybody exactly what was going to happen today, almost 2 years ago, when they were confirming a certain Supreme Court justice. And over time, I was like, maybe we were being a little too reactionary. Maybe we were just kind of projecting our anxieties onto this person. And then they did the exact same thing that we were talking about. So now when they're talking about, one of the justices said that they are going to have to reconsider Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. There's a lot on the line when we're talking about those three cases. So it may just be people
One
with
thing for
uteruses,
now.
medical freedom today, but it could be a very larger thing tomorrow, and it will be an astronomical backslide for society as a whole.
So yay, here we are drowning. And it feels really weird to be, and we've run into this situation before where our film days are designated on days where terrible things happen, and
I know.
It just kind of feels weird.
It's like, oh, a terrible thing happened today and we're kind of melancholy. Do we want to put off filming for today just so we can film on another day where something terrible happens?
It's kind of unavoidable, but I personally take it to what I do in these situations. And in these situations when things are terrible and we're just in a complete hole and feeling like we're not going to crawl out, we turn to our comfort creators. Like, we watch the people on YouTube that we enjoy, that can kind of take us out of the shitty situation that we're in right now and kind of place us on, at least provide us a little more levity and maybe some humor to a really intense situation. So that is our hope, that you watch this and have a moment of humor in a dark time in our country. So that's our goal.
Anyway, in the words of Bo Burnham, hey, look, I made you some content. What are we going to be talking about today, Jordan?
Today we are talking about the Black Menaces.
A lot of people asked us to talk about them. Yeah. Obviously, they have their own platform, and we want to boost that. So after we talk about this today, obviously they've got a lot of shit. They have a Patreon, they are
TikTok,
doing a podcast,
Instagram, podcast,
TikTok, yeah, all this stuff. So we'll leave some links in the description to go and check them out. They're Black creators. We want to boost their signal. They're doing amazing work.
Do they really need us? Not really.
They don't.
They've surpassed us by 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
As far as
we
like
reached
reach
out to
goes.
them at one point. We're like, hey,
in the very beginning.
Yeah, we would like to help you guys out and everything like that. And by the time they had like responded to us, like a couple days later, they had already.
They don't even need us.
It doesn't matter.
Which we're happy about. When they first started, things were like just beginning. So we were like, this is great. Let's give them our platform and try to guide more people their way. But I mean, they took off almost immediately, and they don't need us anymore. They didn't need us to begin with, but now they've I think they're in the millions on. Are they in the millions on TikTok?
No, a couple 100,000, I think.
100,000. Okay, they're on their way there.
Let's see.
They're on their way.
Let's look it up.
They have like 30,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh,
almost
719,000.
Followers.
That's 10 times the amount of followers that we have on.
Oh yeah.
On TikTok. So that's really impressive. We love to see what they're doing. And for all of you out there who think that all we do is shit on Mormons, Black Menaces, a lot of them are active Mormons. Mm-hmm. So, and they are BYU students.
Or Mormon adjacent.
Yeah.
It's not necessary to know where they are in their faith journey.
Yeah. Unless
they choose to share those things. But we got mad respect for what they're doing. They've demonstrated this in a way that I don't think really has ever been demonstrated before, because we're aware, I think maybe those of us that aren't in denial, but there is a huge racism issue, especially in Utah particularly, and a lot of it's based in doctrinal bullshit from the Book of Mormon. And so I think a lot of us are aware that there's an issue here, but it's not until that these guys really started doing their videos where it becomes like very concretely obvious that there's a problem. And this is not, they talk about this in their videos all the time, but this is not a uniquely Utah issue. This is a predominantly white institution, predominantly white university issue. And it's, you know, it's just being highlighted in a way that the majority of us have never seen before.
Yeah.
And so really it's an extremely important, essential thing that they're doing. And I'm glad that everybody has caught on and supported them in this movement, because we need it. Not only here, but everywhere.
Totally. Let's get things started. I'm going to put stuff on the screen. We're just going to watch them through TikTok, which is the easiest way to do it, obviously, because that's their platform. But we will look at where it kind of all started and watch some of their videos and kind of dive into some of the comments. And some of them are they're fucking hilarious a lot of times. So let's get it going. Okay, so this video actually naturally popped up on my For You page on TikTok. And this kind of started, we never talked about this on our channel. We were pretty up in arms about this event when it happened on, I made a TikTok about it. It was the last one that we did, but I made a TikTok about it. Jordan was talking about it on Instagram. So follow us over at those places, at Jordan and McKay. Shout out. But a Mormon, he's not even an apostle, but he's like really well regarded because he was or still is part of the young men's program or some of that shit. He goes around and gives maturation talks to kids in Utah schools. Like this guy, I don't understand this guy, honestly. He claims to be a professor of ancient scripture.
Ancient Mormon scripture, I think.
I'm like, dude, no.
There's Mormon historians.
Dude,
come on.
I know. Ancient scripture.
He's an expert.
Anyway.
So he made some very racist, obnoxious comments in February at I think it was just like a youth get-together, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
for kids.
A youth fireside, yeah.
So this is young
specifically
adults.
for young adults and youth. So they reacted to it, and so hopefully this is the first time you're hearing this, and you probably be as appalled as everybody else.
How come the blacks didn't get the priesthood until 1978? What's up with that, Brother Wilcox? What, Brigham Young was a jerk? Members of the church were prejudiced?
That's the bare minimum.
Maybe we're asking the wrong question.
What it is.
Maybe instead of saying, why did the blacks have to wait until 1978? Maybe what we should be asking is, why did the whites
Okay.
and other races have to wait until 1829?
I'm sorry. Negative.
Were we?
From the blacks,
I'm pretty sure we were all, at least on the ex-Mormon side of things, we were all pretty goddamn appalled that he was like, oh, the whole whataboutism, like, come on, dude. It was so ridiculous what he said. I could not believe it. And this was just the first time that this had come to light. This dude was going around the country and maybe into other countries, I'm not really sure, but he had given this talk multiple times before someone had recorded it and uploaded it to YouTube, or this was on Twitter, obviously. But he was just saying this to a bunch of people, and nobody saw anything wrong with it for a good amount of time. And some reports even, we knew people who said that they had seen him give this same talk in like 2018 or 2019, who were in the room and were like, yeah, I've seen him do this before. This isn't new. So it was a whole big thing. Everybody was up in arms, obviously, rightfully so, because this is racist, obviously. And he made a very pallid initial apology after his wife was getting into it with people on Facebook and things like that. It was just super embarrassing. But yeah, this was the first thing that I had seen and kind of the first thing that blew up for them, which was really cool. Should we watch the next part of the saga?
Is there a next part?
Yeah, they reacted to his second apology where he was like on Zoom. His initial apology was just on, I think it was just on Facebook. And then his second apology he made on Zoom during a meeting or something like that.
Action to Brad Wilcox's second apology.
Now, this has been a hard week for me.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We're going to be speaking tonight about trusting in the Lord. And this has been one of those weeks when I have needed to trust in the Lord.
Us too. Oh, really?
Some of you may have heard about a talk I gave last Sunday night. Now, it wasn't the first time that I've given that talk.
We heard that too.
And it wasn't the first time I've used the ideas I shared or the line of reasoning that I used to try to address some difficult topics. In the past, I failed to see how my comments could be seen as insensitive and hurtful. And I'm very grateful for friends like Brother Corbett, who have helped me and corrected me and taught me. Once again, I apologize. And I'm grateful more than ever for the atonement of Jesus Christ,
Put it on
which
him.
allows us to trust in the Lord. Now,
Honestly, this really just showcases how when people get caught doing shitty things in Mormonism, and I'm sure it happens elsewhere, where they can just like fall back on we can be Jesus atoned for our sin. Yes, I understand. What I did was wrong,
Bad.
but Jesus atoned
Jeebus.
for our sins, so it's all good. I'm
But
sorry. I
Jeebus.
said I'm sorry. Guys, did I say I'm sorry? Did I say I'm sorry? Oh man, this shit was wild, and obviously their reaction just so golden. I am kind of playing off this comment that I was reading that I saw while we were watching. I am, checks notes, very sorry. It's been a hard week for him. Honestly, these are really good. So that was kind of the origin of the Black Menaces kind of getting their jump start. But what they primarily do is they will go around the BYU campus and other campuses, and they will ask students questions in regard to race, racism, and other topics that are generally controversial for Mormons because of the terrible doctrine and things that Mormons have done in the past.
My first question is, can you name who this is in this picture?
Is that Rosa Parks?
Why are Canadians better than us?
I'm not from the U.S., so I don't know.
Okay, where are you from?
Denmark.
From Denmark. Okay. You get a pass.
So am I excused? Okay.
You get a pass for that.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you a
Excuse.
photo and you tell me if you know who it is.
Okay, sure.
Malcolm X.
The international students know it more than the people in the United States.
Oh
My first
God,
question
right?
is, can you
Embarrassing.
That one girl from Denmark, she had a really, I mean, a lot of people in Europe learn English, but she had like no accent. I don't know if that's a red flag or what. Or she just, I passed the buck. I wasn't born here.
This one that we're going to play, asking BYU students if they believe the priesthood and temple ban was of God. Now remember, black men and black men black men weren't allowed to have the priesthood. Black men and women weren't allowed to enter the temple. Their membership was restricted by all accounts until the late 70s. Was it?
1978.
1978. So
From 1849 to 1978. Like most of the time of the church up until that point.
So Mormon God decided to stop being racist, mostly racist, in 1978. Like just in this regard. The racism continued, but
Yeah, he was like, let's take out the biggest barrier now, because now I've had a change of heart.
When black people were restricted from entering the temple and receiving the priesthood, do you believe that came from God?
I don't know.
Okay. Fair answer.
No. Good question. And I mean, good answer. Good answer.
I would say my gut feeling tells me yes.
Oof, wrong answer,
I
dude.
don't know why he did it.
You know, I know that he did do it. He instructed the prophets to lift the ban when they were told to lift it.
Mm-hmm. Priesthood and temple ban? Oh, like blacks not having
Yeah.
priesthood? No.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I don't know. I don't think anyone knows.
Elders.
Come on.
I don't think it was of God. I think it was a racist policy. When black people were restricted from entering the temple and receiving their priest. When black people
That's
were restricted
pretty much the kind of answer you'd get out of the missionaries. Like, if you went out on the street and asked 9 companionships of missionaries, or 10, you'd probably get that answer from like 9 of them.
Yeah.
If
That's
I were
fair.
to wager a guess.
A wager, a guess.
Okay, so the question is, do you support gay marriage?
Yeah.
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 I support what is written in the Family Proclamation and what the leaders of the church say, and I will leave it at that.
That's really convenient that he can just cite these things instead of just coming out and saying it. That's like a total bitch move.
Again,
honestly.
It's throwing Mormon God under the bus.
I know.
It's not me.
I am not valiant enough to stand up for my homophobic beliefs, so I'm just going to use God and Jesus as my shield on that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't worry. It's not me. It's not me that holds these offensive views. It's the Mormon church, the Mormon God that's forced them upon
Hey,
me.
if you have a problem with it, you should pray to God and tell him to change it, obviously.
Obviously, that's worse.
Dumb. Anyway.
Can you expound what that is? Kind of like for people that don't know what that is, could you expound on what that says?
Oh, okay, the Family Proclamation is that marriage is between one man and one woman for the purpose of rearing children. And that is what we as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believe in, and that is what we promote and defend.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Thank you, man.
I mean, he is right. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the doctrinal stance.
Not in general, no.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
I just...
This is Nate, and I follow him, and
This
it's
white
the
guy.
deadpan look for me every time, because he usually will keep a straight face, even when the answer is not fucking terrible, which is the best thing. I think it's kind of become his signature thing where people become really unsure of their answer just because he always gives the same kind of look in a lot, not every time, but in a lot of videos.
Now, this white guy here is your average BYU bro looking ass paintbrush, okay? You will go to a BYU campus and these dudes will be running around there like bunnies, okay? They all look the same. They all look the same.
This is your Mormon MLM bro who you will get home from your mission, and 24 to 48 hours after you get home from your mission, he's in your inbox saying, hey bro, I've got an opportunity for you to make upwards of $50K over the summer.
Selling pest control.
Pest control or security systems like Vivint and things like that. This is the vibe right here.
I mean, it's definitely a state-by-state issue, but I think that...
Do you represent a state?
When he says state-by-state issue, I don't know if it's coming through here, but it's the side-eye look for me from Nate.
When something becomes supported by the state, then I think it transfers it kind of... Sorry, I'm a little on the...
My guy,
Oh
you're
my
doing your
God.
idol Ben Shapiro so wrong right now.
You're
Which
supposed
that
to
guy
have
is
these
already
talking
pretty bad.
points
Yeah.
like this.
How are you
Spit them
gonna
out.
gish gallop when you don't know your material at any given moment? Come on.
How are you going to be
dude.
homophobic if you can't like do it on the fly? Like you got to think about
know.
it.
At will homophobia.
Spot here. When the state says something's
Pretty simple
okay,
question,
then the people who are governed begin to think it's more all right. And I wouldn't condemn any gay people for anything at all, but I just don't think that.
Okay.
If I
Condemn
was voting,
is
I wouldn't
a
vote
strong
in favor
word.
of gay marriage.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
See, that's like the answer that he gives. Perfect. Thank you. Almost every time.
And
I love it. Honestly, he's the best.
they've talked about this before, but they don't like respond with their opinion or really engage with people other than like asking questions on their channel because they don't want to be perceived as like bullying or harassing. So they don't engage or respond, even if it's like an outright homophobic or racist answer.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that they do this in good faith because it's all up to the interpretation of the person. One of these people, like that guy that they were just talking to, if they watch this, they'd be like, I don't see anything wrong with this. Mm-mm. And obviously it's kind of like an expose just because the general public are like, are you fucking kidding me? How do people think about like this in this day and age? So
when people come and ask us, they're like, we've always talked about BYU being weird. Like we've always talked about it. And there's this weird culture and dating and like all of this nonsense. And so you guys are seeing it first fucking hand. Like this shit is fucking crazy. And it's, you know, it's not a unique to BYU thing, but BYU like produces this very like justified and homophobia stance because Mormon God said so. So it's a little different in that sense.
Yeah.
Vote against it.
Vote against it?
Yeah, same with me.
Can I ask y'all why?
I believe in a marriage between a man and a woman.
Gotcha. What about you?
Same.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you for...
Reminds me of your dad.
So the
Okay.
It looks like your dad.
That means that he reminds you of me? Because I look exactly like my dad.
Not right now, you don't. Anyway, boomers letting us down there.
Come on.
Not all you boomers are like that. We know that.
We know that.
Transphobia. Here we go.
The trans woman a woman is, a trans man a man.
Honestly, I have no way of answering that. I actually don't know any trans person. But I think just kind of whatever they really choose, it's up to them, and everybody else can kind of do their own thing.
Fair, yeah.
You definitely had me in the first half.
Well, it's like intentionally vague.
I know.
Like, let me, like this comment down here.
But I mean, it's a little.
I think personally, I think if it's what they think, I think I just honestly, I mean, really, I think it's just like it's word salad when they ask people questions, especially now because people know who they are, and so it produces like these weird responses. But some people have asked if there would be a difference if, say, a white person were asking the questions, and so they have done that a few times, and it's produced some interesting results. But I think that is a dynamic that is fair to be questioned, because if a white person is asking you a BYU and you're just a really racist fuck, then you're probably going to answer different to them than you would to one of the black menaces asking you a question.
I mean, I don't know if there's studies about it, but anecdotally, a lot of white people tend to feel more comfortable about their racist views when they're only around other white people. Yeah. So I personally think it would garner a lot more honest answers on those questions when it comes to if there was a white person doing the same thing under their direction. Obviously, did they have white people do it?
They've had it a few times.
Okay, yeah, they've gotten like other people, and they've kind of run the gamut on a lot of this.
Biologically, I think no, but if that's what makes them happy, then they can go for it.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem. Thanks, man.
See, there it is. Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Love it.
I don't know.
Any thoughts on the matter, or?
I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's a good question because it's like you're changing your gender. Like what? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they consider themselves a man or a woman, but
what do you say?
From an outside perspective, I just think it's kind of weird.
Okay. All right.
Ew.
Cool. Sweet. Thank you.
Talked yourself in circles still to be transphobic. Like,
I know.
You had like 30 seconds there
Just
to come up with a different answer.
Just come out and say it, honestly.
I think personally, I think if it's what they think, I think just goes. Honestly, I mean, it's really it's my name. I think it's really kind of just up to them, what they personally, and then
Amen to that. Perfect. Thank you.
Trans woman a woman.
One of the things that I see most often in the comments section is, how are these college students? Because I do think BYU is kind of like a petri dish for homophobic, transphobic, justified, outright feeling that way because you're... And I mean, you could say this for any predominantly white institution, but especially at BYU, everybody feels justified in their homophobia or transphobia generally for the same reason. Like across white institutions, predominantly white institutions, you're going to find people who are justified for their own personal reasons, whether they be religious or not. And so I think BYU in particular, everybody feels a little more comfortable because we're all like, no, none of us think that being gay is okay because what the f*** does the Book of Mormon say about it? Yeah. So there's like there's like a bigger level of comfort because we're like, oh, we all think the same shit. Like we know being gay is bad. Like what the hell, you don't?
Yeah. I think so. I also think there's kind of a dynamic because there's a lot of the religious right that also falls into the category of people who are attending BYU. And a lot of those people tend to think that other colleges and universities are like a liberal indoctrination and things like that. I mean, so... And then they'll look at this and be like, this is the Lord's school. They don't teach that kind of liberal indoctrination at the Lord's school. So this is a good institution and we love it.
All right. Asking BYU students if reverse racism exists. This one killed me when I saw it the first time.
It doesn't. Sorry.
Okay.
Let me redo.
The question is, does reverse racism exist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I forgot. I got confused. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sorry. No.
Sebastian's dying.
I was dying at that one because you could tell she was trying so hard.
She was like, I'm focused.
Think about it. I have got this.
And then she said the wrong thing.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like in my life, like I don't feel like I've been persecuted, so I would personally, like from my personal experience, I would say no.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you answered it for whatever you want to say.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you. I think that any race could be racist to any race. Okay. I think it does exist, but like, are you saying towards just white people or
in this
any
instance?
Race?
In this instance, we're targeting on like people of color being racist towards white people.
No.
I mean, I don't really see any examples of that in like anywhere, so I don't really.
But do you think it's possible?
Alright, cool.
Okay.
I'd say it's definitely like if it does exist, it's not as much of a problem. It doesn't.
So you think it's a small amount?
Yeah, there might. I mean, I'm sure it exists out there somewhere, but it's not a problem that's hurting anyone really.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Okay. The question is.
Hell yeah. I used to think that way, honestly, when I was in Honduras, and a taxi driver would try to charge me more than normal. I would be like, that guy's racist. Because I have money, like I did, so obviously the guy's just trying to make a fucking living, but it's not, there's no such thing as reverse racism. I am still the person who is in the position of power in that situation, so...
So here's another one that's important as far as context goes. So this one's about asking a BYU student if gay people should be allowed to openly date at BYU. Now remember, the BYU Honor Code does not allow for gay people to openly date anybody on the LGBTQ plus spectrum to date outside of like the norm heterosexual relationship. And so we did a whole video. McKay will link it here.
I'll link it right here. I've been pretty good at that lately. So
about the LGBTQ plus community and Mormonism and how they've intersected and intertwined. But there was one time, was that in like when was that? 2018? When they said just kidding and took it all back?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So the BYU Honor Code office said that they were like not going to punish people for being in.
Oh no, that was 2020.
That was in 2020?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the church-wide policy.
No. So
yeah, that was in 2020.
The BYU Honor Code office was like, it's okay for gay people to date on campus and, you know, publicly display affection and it's fine. And so a bunch of people came out and then the Honor Code office rolled it back and said, nope, just kidding. And so they basically just outed a bunch of LGBTQ plus students. So we have a whole video about that, but that's kind of the context for this video.
Nice. All right. So the question is, should queer students be allowed to date on campus?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Is it?
I've never really thought about it, so I don't know if I have an opinion right now.
I'm in such a position of privilege that anything beyond my own bubble has never occurred to me. So thank you for bringing this to my attention.
I know, right? I hate this one comment beforehand. A lot of people, oh my God, I hate this argument, will say, well, they signed the honor code. They knew what they were getting into. But sometimes you don't have a choice other than signing the honor code because you can't afford school by yourself. You're being forced to go to BYU because that's the only thing that your parents will pay for. So it totally leaves out the nuance of some people don't agree with the honor code and yet they're having to sign it anyway.
And maybe there are some people who don't know that they're a member of the LGBTQ plus community until they get to BYU. Like,
yeah.
Hello.
I feel like if you signed the honor code, you signed your own name.
She beat me to it.
There you go.
Follow the standards of BYU. So I kind of feel like no, just because students have signed saying that they wouldn't, follow that lifestyle. But I also understand that
lifestyle.
It's hard for queer students. So I don't feel like I have any authority to say like what should or shouldn't happen. But I do feel like because they signed the honor code, I don't know. That's really tough. Because I want...
Damn, this is giving, don't worry, you can trust me, and then turn you into the honor code office vibes for me, honestly.
That girl right there has never said the word queer in her entire life before this moment.
In a non-derogatory
I don't even know about
situation.
that.
Like, I want to say yes, because I want to empathize and I want to love, but I also feel like...
So just say yes.
It's BYU is so unique, So I don't know.
So unique and cute.
It's not.
Perfect. Thank you. Good.
It's so cute to be homophobic, you guys. It's so cute. It's a good one for our current situation.
Okay, the question is, are you pro-choice or are you pro-life?
I'd probably say pro-life.
Okay.
This dude looks like he walked straight out of Napoleon Dynamite. Tell me I'm wrong.
With updated shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle? All right. Dope. That's it. Sweet.
Surprising based on this paintbrush.
Somewhere in the middle. It's got to be one or the other. Here's the thing. You can be pro-choice and never be in a situation where you have to exercise that belief, or you can not like it. You can just like it for other people. But there's this is a one or the other kind of camp. You don't have to like it. You can just support it. It doesn't have to be for you, but you can support other people's freedom to do that.
The comments agreed with you. Where is the middle?
Thank you.
I'm pro-choice. Like, I personally would not choose to have an abortion, but I think that people should have the option to do that if that's what works for them.
Period.
Easy.
End of story. Right there. That's it.
Seriously.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be about you.
To this shit. It's been a long time since I've seen these. We didn't screen these beforehand, but we've just seen them in passing. It's been a couple months. I didn't.
Definitely pro-choice. Yeah.
Hell yeah, my guy.
It's a woman's body, you know. They have
period. Tell them.
They have the right to do what they want with their own body.
Go off.
Yeah.
All right.
You know.
The ladies are gonna be after you in this conversation. I guarantee it.
I would say I'm pro-listening, I'm pro-voice, and leaning towards pro-choice.
Okay, period.
So just pro-choice. There you go.
Okay. Colorado shirt.
It's difficult.
Oh, no, let me down.
Pro-choice.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a complicated question. It's kind of a loaded question.
No, it's not.
You can give a little response if you want.
I'll say pro life, but also it's complicated. I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
This is not your 2010 Facebook relationship status. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be one thing or the other.
You can just say the response that you don't want to say because you know you're going to get public backlash for it. Like just
You can just say, I mean, if you do think that people should have that right, then you can say that. But always acknowledging that you don't have a uterus, so...
Maybe they do. Who knows?
Maybe they do.
And they just have a terrible take anyway.
Could be. Could be.
I would say I'm mostly pro-choice. I think that, like, I don't agree with, like, late-stage abortion, obviously. But, like, if it's not viable outside the womb, then that's not a baby. So.
All right. Dope. All right.
Okay, the question is,
are you... Pretty unique take for BYU, I would say. Let's see. Asking BYU if the Confederate flag is racist.
Oh, God.
My God, Mac, chill out, bro.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, dope. That's it. Cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, feminist.
Okay, dope. Can I ask you why?
Maybe I
Gal
just
pal.
don't know a whole lot about it, and I feel like a lot of the views are a little bit more negative than I feel like they could be.
Okay, dope. That's it. Sweet.
That's a person who's been fed propaganda about feminism.
Yeah, who's
And
never... Yeah.
That's generally a not good response.
Look at this, bro.
It's the shirt that says yeet for me.
Embarrassing.
Can you imagine the people who signed off on licensing that?
Embarrassing.
Oh my God.
That's
the
a
garment
good
line
question.
peeking
I
out.
need to do a little more research about what feminism is to really understand
my
whether I am one or
God.
not. I believe that career opportunities should be equal for women, but I also believe that children need at least one parent in the home for them to be properly raised, whether that parent is a man or a woman.
Guy. My dude.
Stop. Shut it down. Pack up your shit. Leave the library and go home. God, you would think that this would not be such a difficult thing. Like, one parent needs to be in the home in order for the child to be properly reared. Like, are you serious? Which might even be a progressive take for most Mormons, because he said either gender could stay home.
Yeah.
Which by Mormon standards is
But it
not
seems like
okay.
he's kind of leaning toward a particular one that he has in mind, which is not the gender that he identifies as.
I'm gonna yeet this feminist over here.
Perfect, thank you.
Feminist. Yep.
Well, I think God created men and women. Everyone was equal. So, I mean, I guess I'm for humankind. I wouldn't call it like feminist. I would call it just I'm for love of everyone. I guess. I don't know.
Perfect. Thank you.
Girl, what's that wage gap? I know. We ain't equal.
We cannot afford to be enlightened centrists like this.
No.
In a time like this.
Take
right
this
now.
shit. Are you a hippie?
Dude,
Come on.
Come on.
Make a stand.
Yes.
Me too. Okay.
Me too.
Okay, the question is, do you consider...
I love him.
Sebastian. He's so funny.
Okay. Critical race theory. Buckle
Okay, the
in,
question
y'all.
is, do y'all support critical race theory?
No, I do not.
What about you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, sweet.
Oof.
That's it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I hope they're not going on a date or something because that...
Whoop. Ruined it.
An important kind of cultural thing to present here. Critical race theory is like Red Scare, the new Red Scare here in Utah. Utah does not have a standardized curriculum for social studies, so this would not be included in that curriculum. Moreover, to the point, critical race theory is not elementary, junior high, or even high school level material.
Talking
So
about graduate level, if you want to get really in depth, but it's something to get the riled up, and that's exactly what's happened in Utah. I used to be a teacher. I've taught the curriculum. We don't have a social studies curriculum. There would be nothing like the actual, like what people would define as CRT in Utah
honestly,
schools.
I would probably argue what they're thinking critical race theory is what you were doing, which is just celebrating Black History Month, talking about historical Black figures on a daily basis during the month of February, which is really, in all honesty, the absolute bare fucking minimum.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I went out of my way to talk about it in my class. Things have taken quite a turn since I stopped teaching, and I know if I was teaching the things that I was then, like literally just incorporating like diversity into literature, the classroom in general, like learning about things that aren't just whitewashed Utah history.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be in good standing with a principal if I were to do those things now. So it's really unfortunate, but it's all based on a fucking lie. That is not taught in Utah, nor, no, just relax. Your kindergartners aren't learning about it.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, yeah. I think I do.
Cool, love it.
No,
hell yeah,
I don't.
Okay.
So, what is critical race theory?
How about that? Basically, the white people are to blame for everything, and that may have been true at some point in history, but not right now.
Bruh.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for your answer.
Your average Marxist definer, Marxism definer.
Dude. The confidence that he displayed while explaining that to the black person asking him, just the audacity for me to say shit like that. God, come on, people.
It's the teaching race to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't be opposed to learning more about that.
Perfect, thank you.
Teaching that? Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, the question is, do y'all...
And notice how they frame the question. It's not, do you support critical race theory being taught in schools, which it's not, and it won't be.
But that's what everybody's up in arms about.
Yeah. It was just, do you support it?
Good God Almighty.
Yeah.
This one's a good one.
Okay, the question is, would you ever marry somebody that didn't want to stay at home with the kids?
I'd be a stay-at-home dad.
That'd be dope, right? I know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they gotta make that money, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sure,
so
if I could
cute.
stay
Oh my
home.
God.
I'd want somebody to be at home.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good answer.
Well, someone has to, right? I don't know. Either me or someone else. So.
Well, would you marry someone that doesn't want to, meaning you would have to?
Well, personally, I want to be a doctor, so I'm gonna be working a lot, so it'd be probably.
So sit your ass home, you dumb woman.
I'm going to be working, so you got to be at home because I'm going to be at work.
Okay, pre-med loser.
Better for her to do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I would.
Hell yeah.
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Cool.
100%.
Oh, perm.
Yeah, I would. Cool. Okay, the question is...
That one was surprisingly...
That was surprisingly good. I will give praise where praise is due.
All right. This one's a good
it.
one.
The question is, who did you vote for in the last election?
Which last election?
2020 presidential election.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Cool. Thank you.
Donald Trump.
I don't think I saw this one.
Can I ask you why?
Because I liked his policies.
Okay.
Cool. I thought he said balls at first.
Same, dude. I was just about to pause and say his policies.
The confidence with which these students answer this question.
I feel like that guy's an instructor.
Oh, this dude
I won't
for
even
sure.
say professor because a lot of times they're not a professor. Like all the religion people, most of them are just instructors. Like they don't have a degree or speciality. And
Sweet.
I voted for Joe Biden.
Hell yeah.
I voted for Trump in the last presidential election.
Cool.
Joe Biden.
He looks it.
President Joe Biden.
Ooh, president. Told you. Donald Trump. Cool. All right.
Oh, okay. Okay. We're just gonna move on. Okay.
How would you rate dating at BYU from 1 to 10 as a black woman?
I'd give it a 0.5 on a good day. You know.
10.
0.
0.
Negative 11.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'd say 2. Solid 2. A 1.
Trenches. Maybe 2, 3.
2, 3.
I didn't realize we dated here, to be honest.
That 0. -1 if you could.
-10. They don't like black women here.
0. 3 out of 10.
-1. Black woman.
-100. Depends, you mean as a whitewashed black woman or as a proud black woman? Because it's very different.
Oof.
How would you rate dating at
That's
BYU
interesting.
I was like halfway through. I was like, is this on a 1 to 5 scale or 1 to 10 scale, and it does not really matter.
It is all terrible.
It is bleak. It's pretty telling, honestly.
Okay, cool. So the question is, do you support Blue Lives Matter?
No.
No?
Sorry to the people that are mad by that.
I'm not.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, can I ask you a second question?
Yeah.
Do you support Black Lives Matter, the movement?
I do. Yeah, I do. I support everyone pretty much. Just whatever group. So.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sweet. Thanks.
Not a good way to live your life.
No.
How's that compartmentalization,
Amen to that.
dude?
I'm more of a supporter of Black Lives Matter than Blue Lives Matter, personally.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Okay, cool.
I am going to hold my tongue on that one so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, you will.
Should that be the last one that we do?
On that note.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it, but this computer is about to
My Mac's about to blow up
right now.
So go follow them on TikTok at the Black Menaces, on Instagram. They're on Twitter. They have a Venmo. You can Venmo them a donation at the Black Menaces on Venmo.
Yeah.
You can also join their Patreon. They've recently started a podcast.
Get some merch. Get some shit
Get
like
some
that.
merch. We have some of their merch. Like, you've got plenty of options. They're also doing a scholarship right now. So they're working on some freaking amazing things. So go support them, each and every one of them.
Yeah. And to clarify, because some people might be a little confused, like, hey, they said these were Mormons and they like them and everything like that. There's a really big difference, and there's a couple different things that I wanted to hit on in regard to that. The key thing is, these are people who are taking direct action to change the church from within. And that's not something that you see a lot. I think it's more to bring more awareness to BYU, but secondarily the church. And that's admirable. We like that. And just because they're Mormons doesn't mean that we hate them or dislike them.
Contrary to what many of the commenters on our channel regularly
So
say.
here you go. Here are Mormons that we like. And secondarily, there are a lot of things in Mormonism that we cannot and never would have ever had experience with. And the Black experience within the Mormon church is one of those things that, I mean, we can talk about how racist it was that Black people were not allowed to hold the priesthood or enter the temple for 120 years. But really the people who are Mormon, currently Mormon adjacent, and are also people of color are going to be able to have firsthand experience with the aftermath of that, the current climate of what it's like to be a Black member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Mormon Church. So their voices are really important because they are a very diverse group of people. They come from different parts of the United States.
The global majority. Hello.
Yeah. And they're going to be able to paint an accurate picture based on personal experiences with what it's like to experience racism within the Mormon church. And there's other people out there that are also really great that are like ex-Mormons and stuff like that and I love.
We're not entitled to the faith journey of any of the Black Menaces because I guarantee you they're not all the same and they're all at different points whether they're in the church or not.
Yeah.
And so
if you'd like to hear about that, they talk about it in their podcast. I know about it, but if you want to hear more about it, then you can listen to that.
Yeah.
You can just... Is it just the Black... I just listened to it through Patreon, but they just call it Black Menaces Podcast. You can listen on Apple Podcasts.
Spotify, Google,
literally
Stitcher.
anything that you would listen through.
Yeah. They have 4 episodes up right now.
Yeah. So go check them out. There's a lot of other Black creators that I really like. Stacey Harkey's funny. There's this one guy that I follow on... If you want ex-Mormon content, he's really a jack of all trades. But Black Exmo on TikTok. His name is Spencer Nugent, and he recently shared that he was in an I'm a Mormon campaign ad that was directed by Jared Hess. So I think that's really cool. He does a lot of stuff with a lot of other Black creators who I can't, off the top of my head, think of what their names are. But
there are a lot in the ex-Mormon community.
Yeah. So those are the voices that we want to amplify.
There are plenty more that we could not get to because we'd be here a lot because there's so many that we want to.
I just learned today he has his main YouTube channel has like 126,000
really
subscribers. Yeah,
hell yeah.
Sketch a Day, I think, is what it's called.
That's cool.
So check that out. We love it. Anyway,
so these people are amazing, and we 1,000% endorse and support what they do. We happily support them on Patreon. They're putting out great content. If you want unseen footage that they don't have on TikTok in like longer format, they have that on Patreon. Yeah. But that's what we wanted to do today. React. Some of these are embarrassing. We can speak from experience as people who are still deconstructing and navigating and untying ourselves from the racism that we were taught growing up Mormon as in white conservative families. So it's an ongoing process. It's okay to you're not going to be proficient at this in a moment. So especially if you're coming from a conservative evangelical background where you're like, all of this that was taught to me was toxic and racist. And it takes a long time to undo that. But the fact that you're starting that process and continuing and not feeling like you get to a stopping point where you're good, like that's what we want to encourage.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in these videos. I mean, they're young. They've got room to grow. And even if they got shit opinions now, they could change within a matter of 5 years.
Could.
So it's important to know that these people are not lost causes. They're not. No. They're not innately terrible people. They've had
it's
a lot of
also a
stuff
reflection
fed.
On education at BYU.
Yeah. So just
and the indoctrination up to that point. But the whole point is it's never too late to change your mind or your position or your stance on things, and it doesn't make you bad or wishy-washy to change your stance, because what do people do when they learn more information? They might change their stance.
Which is perfectly fine.
That's okay. You can at one time be a seriously homophobic person and learn and deconstruct and make amends where is needed and change. Like, you don't have to be stuck in that hole just because you've always been there.
Yeah. So.
It's not hard. It's 2022. Do the research yourself. You can do it.
In the end, just kind of blanket over all the things that were kind of talked about in this. Abortion is healthcare. Love is love. Trans people are not only valid, but they're important people in our society and are amazing. So
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Blue lives can suck it.
Don't bait me.
We're gonna lose subs on that.
Yeah, I don't care.
What else?
Back down below 50. We'll do another. We'll do another
2 giveaways.
Yep, those are the important things that I can hit on.
Don't unsub. Sorry.
So all those who made it to the end, thank you for sticking around with us. We love you. All 50,000 of you, plus the people who just listened. You're all amazing. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and make that number go up.
Hell yeah.
If this is something that you like, hit the download button or whatever the hell it is on whatever listening platform that you're on.
Podcast you're on.
If you'd like to support us in another way, you can check us out on Patreon. We just had our live stream on Saturday. If you missed it and it's something that you would like to check out, we watched Mormon Cringe classic cinema film, Saturday's Warrior, and the live stream should be available on demand still, or already. So if you want to check it out on Patreon, you can go over there, patreon.com/Jordan McKay.
We also have hours of exclusive content. We do monthly Zoom calls, so you can hang out, chat with us, play games. We're going to be doing, next month, we're going to do, what is that stupid generator image thing? The capsule looking thing.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
So we're going to do that for our Zoom call next month. It's a blast. Hop on Patreon.
You can also support us by going to our Etsy store, Happy Brain Collective, and our Teespring. Link is in the description. We have a lot of cool stuff related to the channel and everything like that. If you like to just see a little more stuff from us in our day-to-day lives, you can follow us at Jordan and McKay on TikTok and Instagram.
We're almost at 10K on Instagram.
Follow us so we can hit 10K. And finally, our Discord is awesome. It's a great place to go. Community is great and a lot of amazing people. If that's something you'd like to do, the link is in the description down below. In the end, thank you everybody for joining us today, and thank you for getting us to where we are currently, I never would have imagined this, not a year ago, not 5 years ago, or ever in my life. So thank you. And we will see you next time.